Hey, it's our first Iron Golems. Whoop. Whoop. Hello, I'm Recoded Zaphod, and welcome to episode 10 on the CentriCraft 2 server. Alright, for this episode, I'm going to get started on an iron farm. Mainly because I need a whole load of iron to build all the hoppers for my sorting system, which I'm planning on putting up here. But also because iron farms are very useful to have, and now we're in 14.4. They're probably not going to keep changing, so yeah, should be worthwhile building one now, and it's not going to need updating constantly. My plan is to put it in the spawn chunks, which is this area around here. So I've got like a few options. I was considering putting it in here, but it's sort of in the middle of nowhere because there's no sort of paths going to it or anything. And it also might kind of block the route this way out to, I think this is Josh's area. And then there's some more people further beyond that. But yeah, I could also put it over this side. Obviously I can't have it over this farm. So I could put it here, but Amadorn pointed out to me that if I put it there, it might actually interfere with where my village is going to be in the trees. Particularly if we end up doing a raid there, it would be a issue that because iron farms work by having villages in them effectively. Yeah, I could end up with a raid on the iron farm instead of on my base. So yeah, I'm planning to put it down to this side, sort of just over here. You can see here I've marked out a sort of a boundary, because this is, if I bring up the chunk borders, right on the edge of the entity processing spawn chunks. So yeah, it's going to have to be along here. I'm fairly certain I need it to be entity processing because the design I'm using is Nembom's design, which yeah has a zombie or husk in a minecart. I think I'm going to go with husk because then I don't have to worry about it accidentally burning up in the sunlight. And there's a desert just over there, so I should be able to get one without too much difficulty. But yeah, I think I'm going to nestle it down as far this way as possible and keep it out into sort of this corner, because then it's not in the middle of nowhere up there, it's not blocking my village, and it's not in front of the entrance to Amadorn and Intense path over here, because that would be the other side. I could potentially just put it here, but that would very much be directly in the way of this path going to spawn. But before I did this, I realised I needed a whole load of rails, and I basically didn't have any resources, so I had to go mining and caving a bit, and well, I stumbled on something interesting, so I will show you that clip. I've been doing a bit of caving and stumbled across a mine shaft, and yeah, there's a cave spider spawn down there, so I'm staying away from that. Do not want anything to do with them. Although there's actually, I think that's the same one. There's a zombie spawner in range of a cave spider spawner as well. But I just came across this, and in here, it's this. Enchanted golden apple. Super, super rare. So just realised I don't have any space. Okay, I'm going to make sure that goes into my inventory, and then grab the rest of the stuff. Hey. Yeah. Super lucky to find that. Yeah, so I now have this, which is great. And I don't think I'm going to be using it until I'm trying to get all the advancements, because it needs to be eaten for that, because they are very, very rare. So that was amazing to find that. Yeah, so that was a really good find. Oh, not wearing my helmet. But also, there's been a couple of sort of group events that we've done on the server recently. One was taking on the Ender Dragon again, and one was taking on a raid over at Amadorn's base. So I think I'm going to roll those clips as a sort of montage of fighting, and I'm going to get started on this iron farm, and I'll bring you back in for a progress update after the combat montage, I guess.
Here we go.
Okay, slow falling potion on.
Alrighty. What, big girl? You're just really angry.
Oh, she just hit me in the face. I can't tell which ones have been hit or not.
Oh, this is really nice to just coast.
Yeah, I'm just floating up here. Which ones haven't been... Oh, the one in that cage hasn't.
One cage. That's it. I mean, I think I could just fight it from up here.
Yep.
It's really nice. You just sort of float.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh no, there's one over there. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You just have to like rock it at the ground.
Oh man, that's
Last
gonna
time
be
I used
terrifying.
It kept all my kinetic energy from using a rocket while still in slow falling, and I died.
Oh
Barely
yeah,
tapping
that
it.
was...
That was season 1, right?
Wasn't that on here?
That is why slow falling is amazing. It just rocketed me up to the top. It's almost. I think it. Yep.
Hey!
There you go. Sweet. And we float on back down. Can't hit these while they're invulnerable.
Okay, I'm going for the cage ones, because they're tricky. You have to, like, dive bomb them.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go. I don't think I've landed yet.
No, you're just like...
What?
That's what happened to me!
What?
What happened there?
I was, like, floating in the dragon.
Yeah.
Yep, and I just got sent straight up.
Whoa!
Ender
Where
pearls
did
for the
all
win.
your stuff go? Do you have it? Helix?
Okay.
I need to get all my gear back.
Yeah, do you have it? Because I didn't see it on the map.
Yeah, I don't see it on
What
the ground.
the?
It's not getting... It's not... Why can't we hit it?
Oh my goodness. My
can't
nether
hit
portal
it.
just got exploded.
Oh.
There must have been a creeper.
I can't hit it.
Okay, I'm going to have to run to a different nether
I
portal.
think it's glitched backwards. Gotta
It's
do it
my...
from up here. There we go.
Hey, nice. Is my stuff on the ground?
No.
It is not.
Wait, so my stuff's just disappeared?
It's just gone.
That's not good. I mean, glitched out stuff is ridiculous. That's not legit game. So, I have no problem replacing people's stuff if it's due to a glitch in Minecraft.
All three of us were there, and your stuff just actually
Yeah,
just...
you never got. You just disappeared. You were in the dragon, and then you disappeared.
It's like I was hitting it as
You were
well.
still floating. You were still floating.
I was still floating. I was hitting it. I was swinging my sword, and it was taking damage. Okay, and then Helix used admin powers to replace the glitched out gear, which was super great. So thanks very much to him. Oh, I had a bow. Oh well.
Yeah,
Go with
that's
the sword, dude. Narnia. Hey, Enderman. Five for 5.
Oh.
Aw, you should have wore pumpkin, man.
Who's getting the last hit on this one?
Oh, we all have it.
Anybody already got the last one? There.
Okay,
There it is.
here we go.
Yeah, started.
Oh, boys.
Now, you might want to check out the mountain behind because they.
Oh, they're
Spawn
coming.
back
They're
there?
coming from the mountain.
Yeah, I saw them.
They're coming from the mountain up here.
Oh, boys. They're invading your castle.
Okay, is there a ladder somewhere? Never mind, they're falling down to us.
I hit one of your iron golems.
Oh,
You guys
Came
see
over there on
them
the other
somewhere?
side. Yeah, they're on the other side.
Which
This
side?
time. At the front gate, the bridge.
Front gate. Okay.
Or, nope, I'm sorry. Those were.
Oh yeah.
Those are villagers.
Oh, yeah, see them.
did they get stuck under the bridge?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're under there.
Good. You could stay there.
Okay, next wave incoming. Oh, they're on the mountain. Got a Ravager with them.
Okay.
Oh, they're
Yep,
coming from the front.
top front.
Got witches with them this time.
oh,
Yep, they're in the front.
Oh, that's Evoker.
Ooh.
He released some Vex. Oh!
okay. You have everything, Zap?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Okay, that's good news.
Vex.
Yeah, I'm almost dead.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Please don't die.
Okay, let's take out that Evoker. This is a chunky wave.
Boys. We're in trouble.
Ooh.
You need to...
Do a little bit.
Probably because I'm loading in some chunks.
He's in the bay.
Yep. I saw the silhouette. You got him, or?
I think so. Hence. Here we go. Hey.
Oh, was that it?
Yay!
Hey, nice one.
You should be giving away presents too.
I am tempted to fly over to my trading hall.
You probably should.
So I've now cleared out the area I'm putting it in, and you might be getting a sense of the scale of this thing, as this is, I was going to say the shorter edge, but it's reasonably close to a square, I think. But the other edge is going to be slightly longer, probably coming out to probably about the end of this lake here. So I will need to cover this bit over with dirt as well. But yeah, so that's this area cleared out. I do, however, need to go down into these caves which are here. And I think I want to light them all up because, well, just by being in the spawn chunks, they're changing, you know, how many hostile mobs are spawning elsewhere. So I'm going to grab some torches, light up this whole cave, possibly get a few more resources from it as well. Wouldn't hurt to get some more gold because I'm going to need a lot of powered rails. Yeah, that's a quick progress update for you. I now have the shape in. Oh, I did the cave. I lit that up. Turns out there's actually a zombie spawner down there. So I've marked that on the overworld. It's over here somewhere, I think. I put down some stone so you could see. Anyway, the iron farm is going to be over here. It's going to come out here, and then the wall will be out here. You can see I've marked off the distances I can have it at. I actually cleared one extra space along here, so I don't know whether to leave it as an alleyway or make this optionally one wider if I want an odd number center versus even number center. I haven't actually worked out whether it's odd or even yet, so that might be something worth working out, even though it'll be uneven on the inside, which it's already going to be, because it only actually needs 5 chambers to keep the iron golems churning out. So adding a 6th just increases lag because you've got extra villagers getting scared in there. Well, I suppose mostly it's just having extra villagers, which you don't need in there. But if I find that this isn't quite efficient enough, I can always add the extra 6th spawning pod in over here. But you can see here I've spent some time spacing out exactly where all of the workstations need to be. So workstations are here, going to have the villagers on top of them, and then just behind them are going to be the villagers' beds. And then you can see that I've I spent a lot of time just counting out the right distances here to get these right distance away from there, so they won't consider themselves part of the same group of 3. And then I need to put in the spawning pads beneath this, and then this bit around here is going to be the rail track, and I'm going to have a husk going around this rail track, scaring the villagers one pod at a time, which is the way it works if you haven't seen Nembom's video on it. I'll try and link that in the description, so if you do want to try and build something like this yourself, you can look at all the mechanics that he describes in case I do something wrong or silly, or you can work out something better from the information he gives, because he gives a lot of information rather than just giving a tutorial, which is quite nice. Yeah, so that's the size it's going to be. It doesn't need to be too much higher than this though, because the iron golem spawning pods are going to be just underneath rather than just on top. So yeah, it should only need to be a few blocks higher, but I need to make sure I don't put any blocks at, I think it's 6 blocks above the villagers, because they're able to spawn golems on then, even if they're things like glass. Although ideally I think I'd want my roof to be made out of not glass. Depends what design I end up going for decorating it, which might end up being a separate episode to this one, because yeah, still got lots of building to go. So I think the next thing I'm going to be doing is putting in all the beds, and then taking out all of these extra wooden spaces. So I've just got the main lines in the middle. Oh, actually, I might leave them in until I've got all the villagers in. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So yeah, beds in. Want to take the wooden planks out from underneath them, and then finish off the villager containment areas, so they can be kept secure in there. I think in Nembom's design he used end rods because he wants it to be light without having a spawnable surface, is I assume the reasoning behind that. So I might have to craft up some end rods. I think I should have enough blaze rods, and I think I've got some chorus fruit. If not, I might have to just do a quick trip to the outer end islands, and I could either hunt for blaze rods on end cities or just get some chorus fruit to craft them up with. But yeah, so hopefully the next update I'll have the beds and the rest of villager pods ready for the villagers to come in. Alright, so I've just popped over here to Amradorn's village, and I think it's this shop that I want. Oh, Fisherman's popping in and out. Tailor shop? Yes. They sell wool, because I'm going to need an awful lot of wool to make all the beds. Right, so I've now finished up the villager sort of pods. So I had to grow some chorus fruits, which is why I've got some endstone down there. And I had enough blaze rods, although I had to go and kill a couple of blazes just to make sure I still had a stock left. And yeah, so the pods look like this. Again, it's based on Nembom's design that he shows in his video. Then I've put in the spawning pads in the right place, or at least I think they're in the right place for where the golems should end up. But I think the next big thing I need to do is I need to get villagers over here. which means basically fixing my villager breeder yet again, because of course we're now in a slightly different version, and I think the breeding mechanics have changed again. And yeah, I think in this one they can't path to their beds where they originally were, so they then can't breed because yeah, they don't think there's enough beds around. So yeah, I need to change this up and try and get a working version. Alright, so I've done a bit of remodeling to my boat up here, and this is the design I've settled on. So basically what I've done is I've moved the villagers down into this nose bit of the boat, and I've put all their beds out here in the back, and then there's trapdoors between. And there's a trapdoor up here, which means none of the adult villagers can walk through. So when they breed, baby villagers think they can walk through to the beds, which they should try and do at night time. Sometimes they just wander through anyway. So yeah, they go through and then they drop into the system as before. After much playing around with portals in the nether and setting a whole load of villagers free in the nether and having them escape in here. So I've accidentally already got some in the pods, which I didn't mean to happen so soon, but it did. Basically, a villager was on rails and they got stuck in one of these blocks because they were in a minecart and one of the other guys wasn't. And they pushed one in the minecart into a block. They started suffocating. I broke the block and then they managed to escape, which also happened in the nether briefly, and that made one escape. And then also I was lighting and unlighting portals to stop villagers walking back into the nether when I send them through, and then I forgot I had portals unlit, so when I sent them through they came out in the middle of spawn, and then at one point I sent them through to the nether and they came out in, rather than the area I'd prepared for them, they just came out in a different portal. So yeah, I've had a lot of villagers sort of everywhere, and I've decided I'm not breeding them and bringing them through because I don't have enough rails or patience to lay the track to get them up here from the breeder, and I'm not taking them back through the nether again. It's just exhausting, and yeah, no, I'm going to take these guys here and I'm going to use this area to get them to breed enough villagers for all of the pods for the iron farm, and hopefully while they're doing that I can get at least started. Okay, completely failed to take off there. Wow, there we go. Okay, or maybe not, because elytras are fun when lag's a thing. Right, while I get them breeding, I should be able to finish building the spawning platforms, so putting glass around the side, putting on the water, and then of course putting in the collection system underneath. So I've discovered not only is this going to produce iron golems, it appears that it's going to also produce cats. Right, so I've now got all the villagers in all of the pods, and I've cleared away the bit I was breeding them in, and I've put all the water in these platforms and all the glass around them. So now it's the collection system down the bottom I need to put in, and then the rail, because I've currently got just normal rails in here because I was using that to put the villagers into the right pods. But yeah, it needs to be powered rail, and then I need to bring in a name tagged husk, or well, one which won't despawn. So it'd be best if I could find one which has an item it can hold. But yeah. Okay, so I've now put in the collection system down the bottom here. So hopefully you should be able to see I've got little pods here with water streams which should push everything along. And on this layer, I've only got the sources in the corners, so they flow slightly towards the middle, which should push any iron golems which land in here into the lava blade, which should be at their head height. Also, like I said, because it's producing cats, and it actually produces quite a few. Let's just see if I can get myself the other side of it. Yeah. I've been taming quite a few cats while I've been working on this. So you see I've got, I think this one's Jelly. I think I've already got this one. I think this was a new one. Cute one. And I think there's some more of these sort of white ones. I think there's two different variants of the white ones as well, which I think I might have had both of already. But yeah, been collecting a few cats while I've been at this, which is a nice bonus. But yeah, eventually all of these will funnel the iron because, of course, that drops at the bottom, so it should get pushed along and then around into these hoppers and into here. At some point, I think I need to expand this because hopefully I'll be getting more than, just a single double chest of items. Possibly put in a filter for the poppies which come out of this as well. And I've done this so this final chamber runs backwards into this. So the next step now for me to do is to fix this rail line to have the pauses in it. I've already actually crafted up and placed a whole load of powered rails up here. I haven't powered them yet, but I did a quick test in a creative world, and I've discovered iron golems can actually spawn on this, and I need to make this bit under here out of glass rather than wood. So I'm going to have to take down the entire thing and replace it all with glass, and then put the rails back on top, and then have little stopping stations in front of all of these pods to get them scared for long enough to drop golems off. And then I need to catch a husk and bring it over to start scaring them all. So yeah, it's been quite a lot of work. I've had to go and collect some more sand for the glass, and yeah, it's collecting resources as well, but it's coming along nicely. So yeah, I'll get back to you when I've done a bit more. All right, so I now think I have everything working. I've gone around this track in a minecart and checked it all works. So I've got these little slowing down stations, temporary stopping stations. Again, if you want to see how these are made, I'll link Nembom's video in the description. And yeah, I've managed to catch myself a husk. So it wasn't too bad because there's a desert over there. I was going to show you me doing it, but then I was rushing a bit because it'd become nighttime and then there's monsters about and I just wanted to get him. So yeah, I managed to bring him up. He might have lost some health because there's a skeleton shooting at the group of mobs which were around him. So I might go get a harming potion because he's undead. So I have to use harming to heal him, and healing potions would harm him. But yeah, I might heal him a bit with a harming potion, and then I should be able to push him onto this and should start the iron production. So yeah, I'm going to go brew that harming potion quickly and come back and start the process. And I'm back with the potions, and it's become nighttime again. Okay, so let's splash a scary dude with the instant damage potions. So now I've put a rail in here. I turn this on and then bump him slightly, and this is where you don't have thorns on armor, and he's going the right way around. Okay, so I should now be able to take this out, put that back in, and you should see, hey, it's the first iron golems, and they're hitting the lava blade, and I've got the next couple going. Wonderful. Okay, this all appears to be working, which is a relief, because if something wasn't working here, I think it would take a while to try and fix what's happening. And that seems to be getting them through. And then, yep, they're dropping out. And I'm going to want my shovel so I can break all of these. Okay, and looping back on the second run, it also keeps producing. That's good. Wonderful. I have a working iron farm now. Woohoo! That's all I'm going to have time for this episode. So if you've got any feedback, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. I've been Recoded Zaphod, and thanks for watching.